Hello, one and all. Welcome to another podcast of Vimala. The lockdown enforced in the scenario of the COVID-19 pandemic surprisingly forced us to take up a lot of forgotten interests, long-lost hobbies, and incomplete skill development plans that had been dropped for want of time. Especially in Kerala, where the disease has been largely under control, we sat back and watched as people around us shared bits of their everyday lives with us using digital platforms. We also watched and turned to all sources of information to keep ourselves updated of this disease that has shocked the human race. We also witnessed another phenomenon that calls for close attention and proactive measures from our side. The Director General of WHO, while addressing a gathering of foreign policy and security experts, said that we are not just fighting the coronavirus. He said, I quote, "We are fighting an infodemic." Today, let us listen to the words of Lt.Lovji.K.N, Assistant Professor, Department of English, as she shares what an infodemic is and how we can help control it.
I would like to share my take on the spread of rumors at times of a pandemic and the importance of fighting the fake corona infodemic as well. The virus is dangerous, but so is misinformation about it. The coronavirus crisis has reminded us of the power of information flows and their unprecedented consequences. A battle to control the narrative about the origin of the virus as well as the best way to curb it continues. How can we stay calm at a time when carefulness is very rare in people? You can't be sure about anything you heard or read, and you must evaluate what is relevant, especially if the health and safety of all of us is in question. Just as we thoroughly wash our hands, we also need to think about which messages and news can be trusted. So always check the source of information and do not spread the news unless you're sure that it's reliable. We need to be aware that the virus is dangerous, especially for people with respiratory problems. We need to behave cautiously in solidarity with fellow citizens. What we shouldn't do is to contribute to the feeling of uncertainty or even worse, panic. We should avoid physical contact, provide support to those who need it, give advice and verify information, and apply all other measures that are advised by verified sources. With this approach, we do not only protect ourselves, but we also protect others. When is the best time to help someone? And the answer is now. If we behave responsibly, we have nothing to fear, and this is closely linked to the spread of reliable news. In the digital age, the greatest friend and at the same time the greatest enemy are the media and the high speed of information. It is really difficult to recognize which information is verified and accurate and which is not. The Director General of the World Health Organization has called it an infodemic. Fake news spreads faster and more easily than the virus, and it is just as dangerous. The question is how the average internet user can weather the storm. This crisis is a moment of truth for tech platforms as the major arteries through which much information flows. People fearful for their health and livelihoods are particularly vulnerable to online scams and lies. With the whole population shut indoors all day and eager to stay informed about new developments, misleading tweets, posts, searches, advertisements, and videos are flooding into homes from around the world. Social media companies seem to have spotted the risk It is hard to discern any other explanation for the extensive measures tech giants have taken to redefine online harms and to fight against them. Adjustments that policymakers have long pushed for and executives pushed against forcefully have suddenly been taken proactively. Amazon restricted sales of protective masks after the unscrupulous hoarding and price hike amid the scarcity. The online retailer also removed more than 1 million products that falsely claimed to protect people. Google is struggling to keep removing ads selling masks to consumers while medical personnel desperately need them. Facebook, YouTube, Microsoft, and Twitter are all elevating authoritative content and removing medically disproved claims. We already understand that falsely shouting fire in a crowded theater is not protected by free speech laws. Suggesting to the sick and isolated that drinking hot water or burning incense will cure COVID 19 should not be protected either. Forcing tech companies to build our immunity to infodemics and viral disinformation is of vital importance beyond coronavirus. Governments and health authorities have scrambled to slow the flow of seeding social media networks with official advice. Fear is a very powerful emotion that can drive people to share things or even consider ideas that in normal times they would reject as rubbish. On 7 April, the World Health Organization held webinar to discuss its response to the COVID-19 infodemic, bringing together hundreds of scientists, public health specialists, technology experts, and journalists from all over the world. Many of the 10-minute presentations were on the subject of infodemiology, a term used by researchers seeking to apply lessons learned from disease outbreaks to the spread of misinformation. While authorities have announced severe penal action for those spreading fake news regarding this pandemic, which has already caused nearly 2 lakh deaths globally, with more than 28 lakh infections since its outbreak in China last December, widespread misinformation surrounding the disease has seen people drinking disinfectants and industrial alcohol while trying various rumored treatments. False claims and fake news, mostly forwarded through social media platforms, have also led to several cases of religion based attacks, hate speeches, and other discriminatory activities, while cyber frauds are also on the rise, with scamsters seeking to take advantage of the crisis situation. In addition to the damages caused to public health and societal behavior, experts warn the undeterred wave of fake news poses a huge risk to corporates for whom it becomes difficult at times to filter out the right information that is crucial for them to ensure success of their business continuity, especially when almost the entire world is locked down. To overcome the coronavirus, we need to urgently promote facts and science, hope and solidarity over despair and division. Be alert, stay safe. Thank you.
Yes, during these trying times, let us play our part and ensure that we do not become the cause for the spread of misinformation, uncertainty, or panic. Thank you, Lovji ma'am, for leading our minds along this relevant topic.